Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Friday. It is Aloha Oracle Friday, and so let's just get going. All right, let's see. Angel answers. We got the angel answers today. Oh, right, I have to read the guidelines. Every week I forget about this. You know, you'd think that it'd be just embedded in my mind by now, but I do a lot of other things during the week for the show, so... Oracle guidelines. Good morning, Eileen. So I read this every week just because if I don't, I will ramble. So number one, do not worry where the message is coming from. I only work from a good place. So if you're seeing this, there's a reason you are here. So don't leave, reserve judgment. Do not try to make a card reading fit your question if the card does not resonate with you. Forcing an outcome or an answer not meant for you can cause unnecessary stress and overthinking. And number three, I will give you the message I receive and the message from the book because someone took the time to put it together. So there we go. Those are your guidelines. So again, I really want to stress, if the reading's not for you, don't force it because it can cause unnecessary stress. I mean, you may come along this reading down the road and then suddenly it makes sense to you. But if it doesn't right now, then So the Angel Answers deck is the only one I do not read the book on unless I feel absolutely, compelled to do so. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more. I usually do 5 in the morning to start with. There it is. Wow. I don't know who needs to hear what, but boy, it's coming. Good morning, baby sibling. So let's get rolling here. Man, those first 4 cards just flew right out, right? All right, let's see. I'm going to leave the deck open because sometimes the cards that come out, sometimes they're just meant for one person. So, which means I have to pull an extra one. But let's see. Number 1, compromise. Compromise. What can I say about compromise? Compromise is a very good thing. It's a very useful tool. If we were to use relationships in a generalized term, compromise. Whether, when I say relationship in a generalized term, I mean any type of relationship. Compromise is always a good thing. Okay, so if you're in a situation right now where maybe there's some tension or whatnot, compromise. Try to have a meeting of the minds, come together and come up with something. All right, so compromise. Choose a new direction. Choose a new direction. If you feel stuck, and it's like you're pushing up against a wall that won't move, maybe you're meant to take a step back and try the other direction. That doesn't mean that you're not heading towards the same goal, but whatever it is that you're doing right now may not be working. Okay, so you may still be going towards that same goal, but you have to give yourself and all your higher powers, your higher power or powers, however many you have, that wiggle room to help guide you, to help move you. And think of it as like those little robots, right? That, they're walking, and then they run into a wall, but they just keep walking, right? They don't turn around. Some of them nowadays are smart enough to turn around because they're built that way. But in old school, even with like little toy cars, I mean, they may have a battery in it, but unless you're using a remote, they just keep trying to run through that wall. So if you're feeling stuck, take a step back, rethink your process, rethink the path. Again, taking the path of least resistance, to me, it's an either or. Sometimes it's too easy and people say, well, you shouldn't take the easy way because blah, blah, blah. But sometimes the path of least resistance might be the path you're guided down. So if doing it the hard way is not working, try it the other way because you still might get there with less resistance. All right. So choose a new direction. There's something better. See, if you choose a new direction, there may be something better out there. So let's refocus on this card, the choose a new direction. Moving away from what I just said, for those people, you may be a whole different set of people who, maybe you're trying to make something work that is not working. And it's because you don't want to let it go. And it could be anything across the board, whatever hits your brain first. If compromise isn't working, if communication isn't working, then sometimes you have to let go, because there may be something out there that's better for you. You know, maybe something that's more meant for you than whatever it is that you're trying to push against that's not responding. Ooh, romance. Romance. I went blank on this one, so let's read the card on this. I know, the romance is not in the forefront of my mind anymore. I figure the more I worry about it, the less it's probably going to happen, so I try not to think about it. A very important relationship is about to enter or has recently entered your life. This is the romance you have been waiting for. Like all partnerships, there may be ups and downs, but don't let that deter you or shake your confidence. Have faith that love is coming into your life to stay. If your question was about a current relationship, you can expect the parties to become closer to one another. Past disagreements will fade away and trust will grow. That's because of compromise. So, all relationships have peaks and valleys. This card indicates an upward movement to a new level of dedication and intimacy. This can include engagement, marriage, or a form of recommitment to one another. So there you go. If you were wondering about romance, then maybe it's on your doorstep. Okay? Hope springs eternal. So anyways, romance. But yeah, you know what? When I say that I stepped back, that doesn't mean I've given up on it. It just means I was so hyper-focused on finding someone to be with that I may have been just kind of, you know, think of it as like a water hose, right? I may have been kinking that water hose and not allowing the flow to come through. So I'm just trying to focus on other things now. Just focus on all different kinds of things, you know, my path, you know, my spiritual enlightenment, just kind of ascending to that new spiritual level, just all these different things that I'm trying to work on for myself now. And then hopefully something will happen. So if you're feeling like me, just refocus. That doesn't mean you have to give up. And that doesn't mean you're giving up. Don't say, well, I give up. Don't say that. Just take a step back. Okay, take a step back. Compromise with yourself. You know, maybe you can focus on it, you know, maybe for 2 minutes every morning. You know, send up a prayer saying, you know, please bring me some and blah, blah, blah. If, you know, that helps it get out of your head. And then move forward with the rest of your day. You know, just add it to your intentions, your manifestations, your prayers, and then let it go. Let it go like a balloon, right? And get more information. I have no idea. Get more information. If you are feeling stuck, okay? So if you are feeling stuck and you're not ready to choose a new direction, and you're not ready to really maybe communicate or compromise, get more information. More information can probably be very helpful to help you make that decision, right? I really think this one goes more with the choose a new direction card. Now, choosing a new direction, like I said, that doesn't mean that the end goal is different. What it means is you may be choosing a different way to get there, you know, to get to your main goal. But sometimes you need more information, and that could be why you're butting up against a wall. Maybe you're being stubborn and not compromising and getting the information that you need. All right. So these were really good cards this morning. Some of them hit me between the eyes. I wasn't expecting it, but hey, you know, all things are good. So, all right, let's see. Oh, my nose is all runny. Sorry. All right, let's blow. Got the butterfly deck. Thought I'd try something new. Go with the animals today. The butterfly. And remember, I'll give you the card, and then we'll read from the book after I tell you my thoughts on it. So, let's see. What do you have to say to those watching? Or even one specific person. You never know. Lots of people could watch this, and one person may be the recipient of a card. I don't know. The butterflies are being kind of quiet today. Come on, butterflies. There it is. All I had to do was ask Archangel Gabriel, and poof. You love it when you shuffle the whole deck and it's like the top card. Windfall. I don't know who's waiting for that, but windfall. I think it's pretty obvious what that means. But look, This butterfly is just flying in towards all these flowers going, yeah, I have a destination. But a windfall can be a lot of things. It could be, well, when we think windfall, we think money, right? So if you're struggling, if you're working hard and trying to make ends meet or whatever, keep your faith open. Okay, keep the trust and believing open, because something good is going to come to you. Now, when we think windfall, we think big money, big money, but it could be anything. You know, any kind of money that comes to you that just comes to you out of nowhere, that's a windfall. Any kind of good situation that comes to you out of nowhere, that's what I would consider also a windfall. But in this case, the windfall, I think, is talking about money. So, like I said, maybe you have investments that are about to pay off. Maybe you have, maybe you have a long lost relative. You have no idea who they are, and they know who you are and have no heirs, and poof, you're it. So anything is possible. You know, anything is possible. What's what I'm looking for? I can't think of it, but I was just say, basically what I'm saying is, don't knock faith and believing and trusting that something good will happen to you. You don't have to worry about where it's coming from. Just try to manifest it into your life. Okay, that's the whole important part is manifesting it into your life so that it is yours. All right, so windfall. All right, 2 more cards came out. Let's see. A positive change in your finances is indicated by this card. Woohoo! Although the newfound abundance may be unexpected, it definitely serves a purpose in your life. Your prayers for support have been heard and answered, and now it is your role to utilize the windfall in the most beneficial way. Pray and meditate to have the strength to say no to distracting influences that could squander your resources. You have access to divine wisdom to guide your investments so that they continue to support your health, happiness, and mission. Most of all, do not allow any fluctuations in your finances to stress you, as you have the power to be at peace no matter what's going on around you. And as you emanate peace, so too do you attract all that you need. Okay, so again, that's just it. If you are trying to manifest, especially when it comes to finances, right? If you are trying to manifest something, you have to trust and believe in it. Sorry, it's my echo. So any type of doubt, or, well, maybe it won't happen, you literally will have to start over, because you just negated your manifestation, your intention, or your prayer. And remember, when you manifest or pray or set an intention, this or something better, you know, even if you're praying and you're saying, God, you know, blah, 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 you know, can you bring me this or something better or something equal? Because you're giving them the wiggle room they need. Like I said the other day, you're not putting them in a sandbox. You're putting them in a large field with no fences. All right. So give your higher powers the opportunity to work for you. Additional meanings: paying off debts, a healthy and positive change in spending habits, learning how to receive, learn, trust, and believe. Trust me, that is hard for me, but I manifested some pretty cool stuff in the last 2 weeks. So it was kind of like, wow. And literally it was like, wow, you know, I was expecting it from one place and it came from another, and it's like, holy shit. So, I mean, it wasn't a lot, but hey, I got to pay bills. So, you know, nothing wrong with that. So, you know, retirement. Oh, retirement. So, okay. I'd like an early retirement. Retirement. I have no idea what this means, but if maybe this windfall, that's interesting. That windfall came up and then retirement. So maybe this windfall will be enough for you to retire. All right. But otherwise, enjoy your retirement. You know, if you are moving into retirement, enjoy it. My mom had 6 years to enjoy her retirement, and I tell you, she lived those 6 years. She was probably busier than when she was working before she retired. But they did her and her Golden Girls, they did everything. They were all over the place. And when they needed to drive far, a lot of times they'd invite my dad along. I mean, one of my aunties could drive. She didn't care about driving far, but they'd invite my dad just for the day. So he was like one of the golden guy, I guess. But they lived it up. So don't just sit on your bum all day long, right? Go out and do stuff. Do stuff. Be a butterfly. Flit around. Be a social butterfly. Join clubs. I had no idea how many clubs my mom had joined until she passed away, and all these people were showing up to her funeral from these various clubs. Some were for the city that she lived in, or the area. Some were through her church. And it was just like, holy crap. I told my dad, he said, did you know all this? He said, I had an idea about it, but other than that, no. So, you never know, this windfall. And if you do get a windfall that allows you to retire, don't be afraid of losing the money. The windfall talked about it. Have healthy spending habits. One of the things I do when I want to buy something, especially something that might be expensive, it's very, very rare for me to just be spontaneous and whimsical. I think my most spontaneous, whimsical thing I ever bought was my Mary Poppins Dooney and Burke purse from Disneyland. And that was because I was at Disneyland. It's like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I thought, you know what? I got a bonus from work, so why the hell not? And it's okay to do that. It is. Because I love that show. I love bags. And I knew it was something I would use a lot, and I still use a lot. In fact, I have like a rotating whatever, but I have phases, right? I will use like one purse for 5 months and then another one for whatever, but if it's something you're not sure that you want, think about it. Just give it some thought. And if you keep coming back to it, then you know what, do it. But don't worry about losing stuff. See, a lot of people are afraid to do things in retirement because, or when they have money and are free to move about the world without having to work or worry about it because they have the money to lean on, sometimes they start to worry about what's going to happen to it. So get a financial planner, be positive, be trusting, spend wisely, and don't worry about it, okay? If you put too much worry on the money, it will find a way to leave your life, okay? It'll find weird ways to leave your life, but it'll find a way. So just be grateful for everything in your bank account and in your wallet. And don't worry about everything else. Just trust and believe. All right. So the last one, sobriety. Okay. I don't know if this may be for someone specific, but sobriety can be a lot of different things. Usually we think of sobriety as being alcohol, substance abuse, right? Any kind of substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, whatever. But I have to tell you, this one actually might be for me. And the only reason I'm going to say that is I'm not a substance abuser, but I am an emotional eater. And I have been struggling and struggling and struggling. And last night I did some heavy journal work. The last couple of days have been a horrible spiral. I did some super heavy journaling last night. And I thought, you know what? I need to get back to a place where there's always been kind of this black spot in my life because of my trauma. But there was a time when I didn't think about any of that. And I just tried to move past it and be me. People thought I dressed weird. I didn't care because it made me happy. And I realized that I was starting to conform to what society wanted. The clothes I wear now, the way I dress now. And it moved away from who I really was. Even my nail colors were like a little brighter, which is fine because I love colors. I do love colors, but I don't always necessarily love to wear them. But, my hair, everything. And I thought last night, I need to start moving away. So I think the sobriety card, it can mean a lot of things. It means moving away from negative habits that tear down your life. Moving away from negative habits that tear down your life. And, we're going to read it and we're going to see what the book actually has to say about this. But this is what's coming to my head. This is what's coming from my heart. And, again, like for me, I am an emotional eater and I'm struggling. But after the heavy journaling I did, I realized, you know what? I really want to give this a go in trying to be healthier. I really want to, focus on getting better and keeping myself alive for a long time. And I just saw older sibling join. And older sibling, the first two butterfly cards were windfall and retirement. Windfall and retirement. So now we're on sobriety. So let's see what they have to say about sobriety. So again, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be about substance abuse. It's about getting rid of negative things that tear down your life. So Sobriety. You're becoming more aware and sensitive according to this card. By detoxing and abstaining from chemicals, you're more in touch with your inner guidance and true feelings. Sobriety allows you to focus so that your healing and manifestation work head in the best direction. Getting and staying sober usually requires some support, which is normal and nothing to feel ashamed about. There are free 12-step meetings in every city and even online under addiction names such as Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. There's also an Overeaters Anonymous, which I should probably join. These meetings will set you up with a sponsor, which is a layperson counselor to help you remain sober. Additional meaning: a loved one's addictions or sobriety, codependency issues, detoxing, recovering from a relapse, helping others gain sobriety. So, again, I didn't take this as being as much as a substance abuse type of thing, as much as I did, the message I'm feeling from this is, yes, if you are a person who struggles with these things, and, don't be ashamed. I mean, everybody in that room that you walk into are there for a reason. I've been ashamed to join the Overeaters Anonymous thing because, all the meetings in my town are like at 6 a.m. Seriously. But they do have online ones. They even have podcasts for it. And for me, the sobriety card means, detoxing from the negative stuff, allowing the good stuff to come in. I've known people who have had to go to rehab. I've known people who were years into recovery, and, every day it was one day at a time, right? Or one day at a time. But I also tell people that if one day at a time is too hard, take it one step at a time or one moment at a time. Your process and your path is up to you. And only you can make these decisions. So I thought about that a long time ago. I went on this, health thing. And I did it because my mom was dying. And my mom really, really wanted me to do it. And in the back of my head, I kept saying, this isn't going to stick because I'm doing it for everybody but me. And it didn't stick. But this time, I'm only telling you guys. I'm not going to put it on my social media. So if you're on here and you're watching, But I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it on my own. And I don't want to tell anybody because people like to interject and tell you how to think, how to feel, what to eat, what not to eat. And I know that doing it on my own in the past has not worked out well for me, but I need to make it work out well for me. No more excuses, no more just saying, well, maybe tomorrow. It has to be a thing now, So, lifestyle changes are scary. Lifestyle changes can be, I'm not good with change, but I'm learning how to be good with change because I'm learning how to trust and believe that I'm on my right path. All right, so let's see what the magical unicorns have to say for us. Wow. All I said was magical unicorns, and bam, one card came out. All right. 2. All right. Let's see. Okay. That's all we get for this one. Let me put that back in the box. You gotta be joking me. Change. Fuck's sake. Seriously, the changes that you're going through are positive. If that's not a direct answer, I don't know what is, okay? I mean, literally while I'm shuffling this deck, and you saw it, this was the card that popped out, okay? I was talking about change being scary and change being crazy and all this other stuff, and bam, bam. The changes that you're going through are positive. Well, I think while I was shuffling, I basically said everything about change. But you know what? Changes are positive. And if you want to go back to the initial Angel Answers deck, compromise with yourself. Choose a new direction. Get more information. All those cards really kind of to lead up to that change if you need it. And I need it. I need to just buckle down and make a change. And like I said, change has always been hard for me. And, I know that I've talked about things that I've gone through in the past. And, aside from all that, I had wonderful parents. So I was very lucky. But where the unlucky part comes was this duality that I lived. Like the secret and then this woo, and it wasn't the greatest childhood. My parents made it great, but I got bullied, outside of the home was not always fabulous. And so I kind of stuck to myself. And because of that, I never really learned to move with change. When my mom died, it just, I don't know, it pushed me in directions I didn't even know I could go. When Sissy died a couple months later, same thing. When I lost a friend from work, same thing. When I lost a family member to a work accident, same thing. And you're just like, oh my God, this is like a lot of change. And most of them weren't even my changes, right? I mean, these were just people I cared about that were now gone, but it was change. It was big change. And change can be hard. And because I don't like change, I just kind of hid. And that's why I've been stuck. I am almost out of my 40s. And I feel part of what I was spiraling through was the fact that, there was this person I always thought I was going to be. And then there's this person that I'm meant to be. And I'm stuck because there's a lot of regrets over the person that I thought I would be. A lot of feelings about wasted time. And, I try to, every so often I'll hear the message, right? Out of nowhere. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And I'm trying to understand that. And I'm trying to remember that. There were a lot of things that I wanted that I never got in life. There were a lot of things and places I thought I would be by now. And I was telling older sibling, I said, I thought I would have been married and had kids and, maybe on my way to being a grandma or something. I don't know. But, as 50 rolls in a couple of months, I'm working through that. There's a lot of stigma we put on age. Now that I'm older, am I going to grow up and be a spinster, or will someone actually see me and love me? I figure by the time I meet somebody, we're both going to know exactly who we are. And for the parts of us that we don't know, we'll learn, we'll grow together, right? But I have to have that faith, and I have to take that stigma off of age. And that has been part of my spiral. That has been part of the problem of processing that I've had, because I'm very, very resistant to change. Trust, that has not been easy for me. But you know what? Here's the thing. I'm starting to master trust. And I know that if I can master trust and believing, you can too. And boy, trust me, it is a much better feeling to move with the flow and choose that new direction, get more information, go with the flow. Go with the flow is basically change. Because everything's always changing. Our hair changes, our style of hair changes, whether we choose to wear glasses or contacts changes, the whatever styles change, everything changes. So, change. Like I said, I've been kind of resistant to change, but I'm excited about it. So, what does it say in the book? At times we're afraid of making changes because we don't know what will happen in the future. This card wants you to know that the changes you're going through are for the best. You're walking through a gate into a new life. Don't worry about your future because it's all going to work out just fine. These changes come in part because you're growing older. You like different things now compared to when you were younger. It's okay for you to change because change is a part of life. In the same way, your friends and family members will change as they grow older. You're all letting go of things that no longer work well for you, and you're bringing in the new. Even though these changes may seem to make your family and friends act differently, in the end, everyone will be closer. You'll make new friends through these changes too. Yet even happy life change can create stress that affects your body, energy, and moods. So it's important more than ever to take good care of yourself by getting enough sleep, exercise, and time for play. Also, talking about your feelings with friends and family members can help. Don't push stuff down. Don't hold things in, because that can be hard. And it will come up later in ways that you don't realize it. And I've had to go through that. I am good at pushing things down and then they just kind of fly up like a nasty volcano. So, deal with it in the moment. And that's why I journal a lot too. So if you don't want to talk to people, journal. Write it down. You can use your computer. You can use a notebook with a pen, whatever. This card may also be asking you to change something in your life that's making you unhappy or unhealthy. For example, changing a habit or a relationship. The first thing that you think about is correct. Health. Ask your angels, the unicorns, and your friends and family members to help you with this change if it feels difficult or frightening. Support is very important during times of change. If you can learn to enjoy life's changes, you'll enjoy life itself much more. That's kind of funny because I just said, I'm not telling anybody that I'm going to try a new journey. Look at that, best friends. Right? I mean, the change card was a surprise enough when it popped out of the deck while I was talking about change, but best friends, true friends stick together no matter what. So there's the support system right there. That's true. I'm just going to read the card on that one because everybody has their own idea about what best friends are. But best friends are the people that love you through the good and the bad. They're the ones who deal with your shit while also praising your celebrations, you know? So, and you know, are you a good best friend? I try to be a good best friend. I try. Okay. I'm not going to say I'm great at it, but I do try to be a good best friend. So, I'm not sure. Well, most of the people that I would consider best friends, I've made into siblings. So, you know, which means I trust them wholeheartedly. So again, true friends stick together no matter what. There are going to be times in our life when we may feel like we're not getting the best from somebody. You know, that we may feel like we're just kind of tossed aside and, you know, well, we might be going through our own stuff. But if this is somebody that you've always considered your best friend, someone you've considered yourself to be close to, don't give up on them. That's the whole point about being a best friend. You know, stick together no matter what, through good times and bad times. And I know sometimes people walk away because they're just like, ugh, you know, I can't handle this. It might be too overwhelming for them, but don't burn bridges. Okay. If you need time, just say, you know what? I need time. I need time to just, you know, get my thoughts together, get my wits about me. But when we yell at people, when we're mean to people because we don't know how to handle it, and then we just like, fuck you. You know, that's burning a bridge, and you don't want to burn that bridge. Okay, so best friends. This card says that you need to spend time with a friend. Perhaps you had a fight with your buddy, or one of you needs some extra attention. Take some time today to contact this person and share your feelings with each other. The time that you share is a big gift to both of you. It also helps you become even closer. Sometimes you might feel alone in the world. At these times, remember that you always have the angels with you. Ask them to help you with your friendships. The angels can bring new people into your life whom you'll really like. The unicorns can also help you feel feel happy whenever you're sad or alone. All you need to do is think about the angels and they'll help you right away. We all need friends, and spending time with them is the way that people become our best friends. So reach out to the people you like today. Talk about your feelings, play games, laugh, take a walk, eat lunch together, or just sit and watch the clouds go by. No matter what you do, it's better to do it with your best friend. So there you go. It's better to do it with your best friend. All right. Now, I've got my favorite deck, the Enchanted Unicorn deck. And then we're going to finish off with the New Orleans Oracle deck. Oh, that one's always good for like a little period on the sentence, eh? So, let's see. What do we got? Come on, magical unicorn or enchanted unicorn. Oh, enchanted unicorns. Oh, okay. These are long, so I'm not going to shuffle again. This one came out first. Solar. A safe and happy home. A safe and happy home. Solar. Do you have a safe and happy home? And I don't mean just, you know, cabinets that little babies can't get into. Is your home filled with love? You know, is there more negativity coming in than positivity? That's up to you. That's your choice. You get to make those decisions. But a safe and happy home involves compromise and clear communication. Okay? Those are the two main things. Those are the two key things. Compromise and communication. Okay? And so sometimes we have to deal with that. And compromise isn't always easy, and communicating is not always easy either, because I think a lot of times we're just afraid to say something because, you know, maybe we're afraid we're going to get yelled at, or maybe we're afraid it's going to cause a fight, or that it might cause some kind of disagreement. But be an adult, Okay, be an adult. And I have been that way. I've been that way where sometimes you're just like, well, why am I doing it wrong? Because I used to get defensive a lot. And I'm really working on not getting defensive a lot, but I'm not sure if I'm actually accomplishing that. But like I said, it's a work in progress, but I'm really trying not to. But in the past I would. And by getting defensive, all you're doing is kind of just, you're putting up that wall. And when you put up that wall, you can't communicate with someone because it's just, you're talking, they're talking to a wall. So open yourself up to change. Change, tick that box, okay? Tick that box. Change and compromise and communicate your needs clearly. If, there's more than one person living under a roof, communication needs to be clear. Compromise needs to be clear. And you got to do what you got to do, right? I mean, that's life. Sometimes we have to make decisions that are hard, but it's for the best of everybody, right? Sometimes we make decisions that are fun, and that's the best for everybody. So again, safe and happy home, solar. Let's see what this one has to say. It's kind of a cute card. It looks all zen, like, ah. Although it's interesting because the flowers look like Venus flytraps. So, they look like they have some teeth in there, don't they? So just, be careful. Let's see. Sunflowers burst. Oh, they're sunflowers. I did not get that from this. But okay, solar. Well, that makes sense then. Sunflowers burst into flower in some of the most unexpected places, bringing with them a sense of joy and optimism. They represent confidence and strength, tilting their face towards the sun. Sunflowers are designed to seek the light. Their seeds are a wonderful source of nutrition and healing. I love sunflower seeds. But also, they grow pretty damn tall. You get a good sunflower seed, you can grow taller than a tall man or woman. So, just take some note from the sun. Sunflowers are very happy. I really like them. And I do believe that, because sometimes when I was at work, I sat in the front. Okay, I was the front desk person, the administrative assistant. And, the only windows I had were other people's offices that sat across from me. But I would have sunflowers in a vase. And I kid you not, they would always be turned towards the window when I would come in the morning. And I don't think anyone moved them because, the flowers are packed pretty tight. But I would always make sure the sunflower's on top, facing me, because it's like sunlight, right? But I'd come in and they were the other way. So they were seeking out the sun. So let's see. Our traditional belief holds that each house has its own spirit which guards the hearth and home. Oh, we got some house spirits. This family guardian keeps the house and its inhabitants safe and happy, provided it is honored and acknowledged. In ancient times, householders furnished these spirits with little houses in a wall niche or cupboard, almost like a tiny shrine. Offerings of food and drink were made to the house guardians on a daily basis, and in return, the family was blessed with protection and good fortune. There are stories throughout many cultures about this phenomenon, including the Lairs of ancient Rome, the Brownies of Scotland, the Kamadagami of Japan, and the Domovoi of Russia. These guardians are loyal and devoted to keeping the family content and the home secure. I'm sorry if I tripped over any of those words. The solar unicorn encourages you to make contact with your own household guardian. The family home and family dynamics may have been neglected and need more love and attention. Just the intent to focus more on those oft ignored areas will start the process of calming and softening the turbulent energy in your home. Work with these little unseen energies. Start by acknowledging the spirit of your house and asking respectfully for their help in creating a safe and happy dwelling. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one a lot. A little house spirit. We have one. We named him Hubie, a little gnome. But hey, don't judge me, okay? Because, we're healthy and happy. Could be happier, but maybe that's because I need to unbury Hubie from wherever he got. There's stuff in front of him, so we need to make the house gnome happy. But anyways, like I said, I know this isn't for everybody, but reserve judgment. It can't hurt, right? Because, they're talking about things like, where is it? The layers of, like I said, if I'm saying these wrong, I apologize. But maybe the Laris, I don't know, of ancient Rome. I don't know Italian. So, the brownies of Scotland, the kamodagami of Japan, and the domovoi of Russia. There's fairies in Iceland. In fact, I was watching a documentary about Iceland, and they said that some of the roads are crooked because if anybody says that they've spotted a fairy, they will literally build the road around because they don't want bad luck. It's about, keeping with the excuse me. Someone's trying to stifle that message. Pardon me. It's about keeping with the nature of the land. That's what I was trying to get out. Someone was trying to stifle that, and I can tell because it's getting really cold around me right now. But whatever it is, call on your house spirit. And like I said, the house spirit, you don't have to believe in all these other things. It could be your guardian angel. Everybody comes equipped with one, right? A spirit guide, an angel, whatever, however you want to refer to them. But if you're watching this, I probably don't need to keep explaining this because you're probably like, well, maybe. And if you are watching this and you don't believe, just, like I said, reserve judgment, see what happens. So, yeah, let's see what the last card is. Invention. Ooh, that's the first card. Brilliant new ideas. That is a very interesting looking unicorn. I'm trying to figure it out. But brilliant new ideas. Brilliant new ideas. The master of invention. The mother of invention. So, it's the blueberry. I love blueberries. Blueberries are traditionally used in protection spells, and when placed under the front doormat can offer protection for the home and family. Blueberries have been associated with following your dreams because of the beautiful 5-pointed starry flower the plant produces. On a metaphysical level, they have been linked with removing obstacles and creating a space to find fresh answers to tricky problems. Medicinally, blueberries can help improve eyesight, especially at night. Thus, blueberries can enhance clear vision both on a physical and magical level. I need to start eating more blueberries. So anyways, creativity is not just about creating art. Creativity can mean finding new solutions to old problems. So this goes back to the angel answers, right? Choose a new direction. Get more information. Compromise. And right here, creativity can mean finding new solutions to old problems. A breakthrough is imminent. You are thinking clearly now and obstacles are starting to dissolve. A clever solution to a long-standing issue or a brilliant new money-making idea is indicated. Start by getting these ideas out of your head and onto paper. This is the first step in ensuring your inventive concepts become a reality. Divergent thinking is the key. Brainstorm as many possibilities as you can think of, even if they seem completely out there and pie in the sky. This is not the time to worry about logic and practicality. Within these new ideas rest the seeds of brilliance, and this new growth needs to be nurtured with a yes attitude. Be curious, take a few risks, entertain some outlandish ideas. Allow yourself to ponder and let the ideas marinate with no judgment about wasting time and being seemingly idle. Everyone is creative and able to think of brilliant new ideas, not just the artists and inventors of this world. Creativity is an intuitive process, yes, but it is also a skill that can be learned and practiced. The Invention Unicorn encourages you to be playful and embrace a childlike why not attitude. A positive attitude will help your excellent ideas flourish and expand. Anything is possible when this unicorn appears. I love that. So again, reserve judgment. Don't be so hard on yourself. And again, I like when it says that. Don't worry about feeling like you're wasting time or that you're just being idle. If you are really processing and working on something, trust it, okay? Trust it and follow its path. So we have our last one here, which is the New Orleans Oracle. This is one of my favorites. I love this deck. It is so pretty. It's so colorful. And I like to finish off with it because it really is, to me, the Oracle of Oracles. And by that I mean it really kind of puts the period on a sentence of something, especially if when you're doing several cards worth of readings. So the first one, Awakening. Awakening. I think we recently had this card, but Awakening. I like that. Allow your spirit, when you start to change and you start to even with the sobriety card about detoxing. And you know, again, it focused mostly on like substance abuse. But detoxing from all kinds of things, like, you know, processed foods and all this stuff, that can be hard, but it can actually really kind of open up your flow and your mindset. And trust me, that is one of the hardest parts. Is I am not a certified foodie, but I'm like a foodie. I like to try different things. I like to go out and partake, but I do it sadly in excess. And part of that's because I'm feeling an emotional void. So I need to figure out that psychological part of it, of just going out and enjoying something. And if I'm full, stop. You know, not go through this whole clean your plate mentality. But also, when we do these things, when we detox, and detoxing isn't just about the physical part of this. It's also about detoxing yourself of negative thoughts, negative habits. You know, and sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes we have trouble stepping into change because we're so used to the habits that we create, and whether they're good or bad, that it's hard to change those. And then when you fall off the wagon, you beat yourself up. So awakening. The experiences of a spiritual awakening can be varied as life itself. For some, it is a series of seemingly random emotions. For others, it is a growing sensitivity to everyday events. And for many, it is simply having a desire to follow that which resonates with them in a higher vibration. There is no right or wrong way to go through this experience. You are only asked to remain as conscious and aware of yourself as possible so that you may properly support yourself in the best way possible. Look at it as stepping outside of yourself to observe yourself and your life as a movie, and you get to co-create. Remember to ask yourself, how does this person, place, thing, or situation feel to me? Then allow yourself to proceed accordingly. Trusting yourself is of the utmost importance during this time, because the more that you feel you can trust yourself, the easier it is to stay in your flow for all that comes your way. That is the biggest part, and that is the biggest part about the journey that I'm about to take. Again, right? How many times have I talked about this? And we'll see. I don't want it to be 6 months from now when I'm like, well, I'm going to try it again. I'm really, really going to put some actual effort into this. Some actual effort. And I'm scared. And I think this might be the first time I'm admitting how scared I am. Because, you know, change means trusting. Going with the flow means believing and trusting. And that's what I've got to do. I've got to really buckle down and not just trust kind of in a half-ass way. I used to trust in a half-ass way, right? Which is like, yeah, I trust it, but we'll see what happens. Then I got to a point where it's like, ooh, okay, I really, really trust this. But I'm at about 90, maybe 93% of trust, right? 91% of trust. And I need to push myself the rest of the way to trust that everything is going to be okay and that life is going to flow the way it's meant to flow. And that message isn't just for me, about me. It's for all of you. Because there are a lot of you out there like me who are afraid to take that last 9% leap, right? In fully trusting 100%, 101%, right? Let's do an extra 10%. Trusting 101%. And why do people usually add that 1%? Because that means they really want you to trust. They really want you to go over, trust, overly trust. And use your spidey instincts. If something doesn't feel right, walk away. Move away from it. Step away from it. But if it does feel right, or it feels like it's got potential, lean in towards it, head towards it, run towards it, whatever you want to do. But don't let opportunities pass you by because of fear. I feel like I've done that in my life. But I also feel like I truly am meant to be exactly where I'm meant to be. So you just have to trust these things, all right? So that's your awakening card. And last but not least, Lanyap. Lanyap. I know, I think I said that right. We've gotten this card a few times, so... I did. Or Lanyap. Lanyap or Lanyap. I'm going with Lanyap because, hi French. I think it's French. Good intentions always pay off in one way or another. You pulled this card because, although things in your life may not have panned out exactly as you anticipated, Your karmic reward will be quite pleasant and may surprise you. Sometimes the best gifts are the unexpected ones. If you continue to live your life led by positive and loving thoughts and actions, the peaceful and pleasant results may surprise you. The reason I giggled is for anybody that may have come on that weren't on earlier. I talked about, the spiral that I was in, and this person that I always wanted to be versus the person I know I'm meant to be. And this card literally is the period on my sentence for today, where it says, you pulled this card because although things in your life may not have panned out exactly as you anticipated. So if you're feeling like me, and you're feeling like all the things that you thought were going to happen in life never happened, and maybe it's just pointless to want anything or wish for something, please don't. It's not worthless. It is important. Because as long as you're breathing, as long as you're walking, or however you're mobile on this earth, okay? As long as you are breathing, it's a new opportunity. It's a new day. It's a new chance. Don't worry. Let's not worry about age anymore. I think a lot of times we stigmatize age. You have parents who are having babies later now, and a lot of them get stigmatized. Like, well, what about your kids when they're down the road? Blah, blah, blah. Or, aren't you a little too old to be doing that? Or why would you want to do that? And, because we have a lot of these old mindsets, and there's a lot of these old mindsets are the mindsets we're raised with. And it's not anybody's fault. It's just something that's continually passed down until you break that cycle. Until you sit there and go, I don't give a shit what other people say. I'm going to do what I want to do. This is my life. You can't wear this. You can't wear those. That, outfit is too young for you. That outfit's too old for you. Why do you have your hair like that? All these different things. Live your own life. Be who you want to be. Do what makes you comfortable. Do what makes you happy. This is your life. And Lanyap, it means the gift. That's what Lanyap means. And it was I don't know if I showed you the card. I'm sorry. I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. The world is your oyster. Okay? The world is your oyster and you're the pearl. You're a valuable, valuable pearl. And the world is your oyster. Okay? And remember, we put all these values on pearls, right? But I mean, it's interesting how they're made. I've heard a lot of different things, but I'm still under the assumption that, it's just the oyster ingests sand and all these different things happen to create this beautiful pearl. And if that's wrong, I apologize. I apologize to science. But if it's not, think about that. All these little grains made up this beautiful thing. And if you have a string of these beautiful things, wow, even more so. But we're going to go with the grain of sands. And the reason I'm saying that is because every grain of sand is every step of, that you have taken in your life so far. Big steps, little steps. Maybe you stood still for a little bit because, you just couldn't find the way. But you are a pearl, and you're very, very important, and you're very, very precious. And remember that. Whether you're, however you identify, you are a beautiful, beautiful, amazing pearl. And there are a lot of different grains of sands, a lot of different experiences and trials and tribulations that have made you into this. So don't let anyone stigmatize you. Okay? Stigma is becoming a big word lately, but I think we need to remove the stigma on a lot of things. Yeah. So let's do that. Okay? Put the focus back on you and what it is you want in life. I've been moving into the direction of kind of just falling back into the person I know I'm meant to be. And I think there was a bit of a spark of that person at some point in my life. And it's just a matter of finding out when that was. And I actually think I know when. I think it was when I was about 17. And there was just like a whole year where the world just seemed so colorful. you know. I mean, I got teased a lot because of the clothes I would wear, because I wear a lot of black. I love wearing black. I don't care, you know. I wear tights with stripes on it, and, you know, I mean, I was always different. And I didn't do it to get attention. I just did it because it made me happy. And maybe that's who I need to go back to being. That person that just dressed however they wanted to. You know, I mean, I had this really pretty spring dress, and Sibling and I were going to Paley Fest, and it was this pretty spring dress with a nice belt, and I put on some black tights and my purple Doc Martens, and I did not give a shit. She wasn't all that thrilled with it, but I'm like, I don't care. This is my outfit. And everybody's allowed to have their own opinion, but don't let other people's opinion affect your choices. Do what makes you happy. Do what brings you joy. And when you do that, maybe you'll stop worrying that you've wasted time, that you've been idle too long. You know, maybe you feel that way. But I'm here to remind you, exactly like I'm always reminded, that we're exactly where we're meant to be at this time. Okay? So one step at a time, one moment at a time, one day at a time, however it is that you need to take it. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll be back here Monday with card number 5 of getting into the vortex, or getting into self-awareness. 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook Live. The cards have been really good so far. Really about, you know, relationships and how to kind of settle into them and make them work. And that's the whole point of the cards. They're about relationships, but relationships in a generalized term, and how we can solidify that. And that's why I chose this deck, because, you know, we've built that house. We set the foundation, then we built the house of self-love, and now we're using these cards to decorate the inside of this house, to really kind of bring it to life and make it a wonderful place to be. Okay, so again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. I'll see you back here Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Facebook Live, all lives are public. You can find it under Shelly Marie Lucas. Shelly Marie is one word. Or you can watch the replay on YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. I also share these videos to my Facebook page, the Aloha Perspective. And not Oracle Friday, but the Vortex, or the Self-Awareness, I do a TikTok, a short minute-long version for those on the go, right? Those on the go. And I post those to Instagram. And these do get vlogged onto Twitter as well. So again, there you go. All the social medias. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Again, please, please, please take care of yourselves. And I will see you on Monday. Have a wonderful and safe weekend.